Planning for retirement. You know, most people think they know what to do, and probably some do, but there have been some updates and some subtleties. You should think of all of your investments as a whole. These include your personal, mostly taxable cash account, deferred pension plans, individual retirement arrangement accounts, Roth and traditional, home savings account, and even something called a 529 education account. You might also look at Social Security and your home. Your cash account, where normally things are fully taxed, there's still some tax advantages, namely with qualified USA stocks in terms of their dividends and in terms of capital gains. You'll also see some of the other tax rates like Social Security, states that do and do not tax them. A major and obvious possibility is your pension plan. It comes in a 401k corporate variety and a 403 nonprofit variety having no fiduciary. They require distribution at age 73 now if you're no longer working. Well, most people set aside, say, 5%, and that's really a good idea if the employer matches it. You can max it out at 22% with dollar maximums of 23 or 30 and a half grand if you're over 50. The return you get is deferred, and the tax has a present value, so you can figure that out. One of the shortcuts has the rule of 72, where the product of the rate and time is 1/2 if it's 72. Regardless of whether you have a pension plan or not, there's also the individual retirement arrangement accounts. Currently, you can do up to 7 grand or 8 grand if you're over 50. A traditional IRA is tax deductible going in, and you got to be taxed on it at the full amount on withdrawal. Distribution is required at the age of 73. If you have no qualified pension plan, there are no limits. But if there are a qualified pension plan checkmark on your tax reform, here are the limits. A Roth IRA is tax-free going in and out, and regardless of whether you have a pension plan, here are the following limits. Notice the married Roth can be used for unemployed spouses for the traditional. But which is better? If the traditional IRA has the same tax rate going in and out, turns out you're going to get the same return as you would with a Roth. Consider that if the taxes are the same going in and out, everything cancels. Do note that the Roth does set aside more, equal to 1 divided by 1 minus the tax rate, and taxes do vary state to state, so with a lower tax rate elsewhere, you might be better off with the traditional. There are some other relevant considerations: home savings account, even 529 education plans. The home savings account, well, they have their limits, you can see them, and it sets aside, again, 1 divided by 1 minus the tax rate. Like for a Californian, that means your 3 grand after tax would be 2, but now for a Californian, you get to use the full 3. Heads up on Social Security. While you can't do too much about it, you should be aware it's based upon your last 10 years of work. So for like football players, movie stars, low income at the end does not mean much Social Security. It's age 66 is a standard benchmark for up to 1954, and it goes up a year on a sliding scale. Heads up for you Social Security retirees, it is taxable in the following states. By the way, your home, of course, is an investment. First to allow an interest deduction, and you get $250,000 exclusion if you're single, and $500,000 if you're married. Watch out for them property taxes with Dr. C Invests.